team. They won a natty today. It's pretty impressive in second year in the program. So, they're setting a high standard to follow, but we're up for it. So let's get this going so you guys can go enjoy your beautiful Saturday in Tucson.
Just your thoughts on Toby's overall performance tonight in his game defensively for the team.
Yeah, I mean, Toby obviously is a very impactful player, and he's just such a good person. You guys can see for an interviewing him. I mean, it's so fun to watch him have some success and to grow and develop. And I'll give him credit because everything hasn't always come easy for him. So we're continuing to push him, but watching him hang with it it's been really inspirational.
The team's kind of struggled from the line in these first two games. Is that just a product of getting to the line that much, or is that something?
Well, we need to step up and make them, and hey, you're right. There always is you win a game like this, you do have to look at things like that. We're not going to make a big deal out of them. I think we're going to be a really good free throw shooting team in time. And it'd be nice if time was next Friday at Madison. With that, I'd be happy with that. So, we're gonna take a look at a few things, and but we have good players. We have ballers. So, I trust these guys are going to be great free throw shooters.
Could it be a blessing in disguise for Henry, who missed last year, kind of gained weight, kind of learn more about the system, where he may not have played, and now he's going to be a big impact?
Now we can talk with hindsight. It's not in disguise. I mean, it's just a straight blessing. I mean, it is. Big guys take a little bit more time. I mean, just the physicality and the fundamentals. That it takes to be successful at this level and beyond, or they're pretty substantial. So he's made significant progress in those areas, and I think there's more. I think there's more. I got him on at the start of the game. I thought, right when he got in the game, I thought, he had an opportunity to vertical contest a drive, and I think he fouled or they scored. It wasn't great. Went down to the other end, drove right away, kind of some whirling dervish spin, and got off balance. So he's got to understand he's 7 foot and long, and on the thinner side. So he's got to be able to find his strength and his balance at the end of those drives. And then he settled in, and I thought it was really good.
You guys have started the first two games not allowing a bucket for the first 4 minutes of each game. How much is that tone setting defensively for the entire performance?
Well, it's great. I mean, I didn't know that, but that's great news. And I've really been on these guys to step it up defensively. I think defensively we've been good. The last couple of years, the numbers say we've been good, maybe even better than good. I want more. I want more out of this team. On that end of the floor, and I was really on them, this week because I want to establish that standard, for our program, and I think we can be a very, very good defensive team that we can hang our hat on that side of the floor, and I think in order for us to get where we want to go, that's going to have to be an absolute. So I'm satisfied with the progress, but I look forward to watching the film and getting back into practice and grinding on them again, because I know that we got to make sure our defense can travel.
And how does defensive rebounding especially kind of go hand in hand with that and being able to, have the defensive performance like you did wire to wire today?
Well, if you're, solid defensively but aggressive, you can be opportunistic. And, it means if a ball's floating in front of your face, by all means, run through the passing lane. But if not, let's hunker down, be defensively, keep things in front, make them shoot over the top of us. We have good length and good athletes, and then rebounding something that we harp on every single day. And in theory, if you're not in a ton of rotations defensively, your positioning is closer to between your man and the basket, so it's easy to cut them out. Or get a good block out, and you have inside position on the glass. So those kind of details stack up, and we were on our guys. Old Dominion last week, or whatever it was when they played, I think Monday, they had 22 offensive rebounds, and I watched the film, and I'm like, hey, to me it looked like it was a very focal part of what they were trying to do, and they were very intentional with how they were offensive rebounding. So we really challenged our guys.
With your offensive rebounding?
Huh?
Sorry, Brian. Do you feel like with your offensive rebounding, does this maybe, you shoot 50%, but with the putbacks you had, maybe more potential there than some of the teams you had?
Well, listen, I love offensive rebounding. Offensive rebounding is a great insurance policy on offense. You run your offense, you try to get great shots. I got on Caleb and JB one of those possessions, I think they both shot faked themselves out of threes, and we ended up almost at a shot clock violation. I'm like, guys, like, we get under 10, let it rip. And then let's get 6 hands on the offensive glass. I mean, that's what we want to do. So, yeah, I mean, it's always going to be a staple of what we do. I think we have, great potential, with our depth inside and some of our athletic wings to be a great offensive rebounding team.
The newcomers, did it feel like they were more comfortable than the first?
Yeah, I mean, I think their first run, they weren't great, and I got on them about that. So, we're still trying to figure out exactly how we want to rotate things, and it might not be the same every single game, but once they settled in, they were a lot better, and it was good to see Carter have a little success. It was good to see Deli make a few shots. I mean, Deli shot the ball incredibly well ever since he's been with us. His last 2 games maybe haven't been his best. So, and I feel like he wants to see the ball go in the basket. So it was great to see him do that, I thought overall, it was a great team effort, but it was good to see the new guys kind of, get their Arizona wings a little bit today.
You brought in Mo, I think, about 3 minutes in both halves for Tobe. Do you feel like that's something that you could keep doing on a regular basis? If
Well,
you don't have to
we'll
keep them out
continue.
for long stretches?
We'll continue to talk about it. You know what I mean? Hey, Mo took about 6 weeks off, so we gotta we're trying to build this team for the long run. So we're going to build him in and kind of figure out what's the best way for him to function at a high level in some of these games. Because hey guys, we obviously know. I mean, it's about to get real. So I need Mo to continue to get better and better over the next week to 2 weeks.
You're talking about being aggressive defensively. How does that help you on the perimeter when you have those 3 guys who can stretch it and athletic and do a lot of pestiness?
Well, I think those perimeter guys, it really helps us there to be able to pressure the ball, and they have experience now. So, they've been through scouting reports. They know how to execute game plans. But I think what else is helping us is just our depth inside and our mobility of our bigs. It's allowing us to kind of explore some different ball screen coverages and maybe some different switching scenarios than we've been able to do in the past. So, I like how the package is coming together, but I also know that it's on film and we watch it, and I know that our other teams our opponents are going to watch it. So, it's going to be probably a little bit of a give and take for a while as they try to figure out how to attack us and figure out where our chinks in our armor are.
Both you and Tobe have talked about he wants to foul less, you want him to foul less, a little bit of a bull in China shop kind of deal he had a reputation for, but tonight 1 foul, I mean, are you seeing more signs that he...
Yeah, I mean, Tobe's kind of one of those guys that just, he plays incredibly hard. And, sometimes if he doesn't quite get the ball or doesn't work out his way, maybe in the past he just club a guy, out of frustration. And I'm like, well, if you want to play more, you don't club a guy. And we also want to play very physical defense without fouling, because, we don't want those teams to get bonus free throws. And, because, free throw line, I mean, obviously tonight, us, Arizona and Buffalo both didn't, it wasn't a legendary performance from the line, but on a nightly basis, the more you keep your opponent off the line, the harder it is for them to be efficient on offense.
Yeah, and I know it's early. I was just wondering if you've seen signs in Tobe so far that he's more in control.
I mean, you said it yourself. He had 1 foul today. I mean, I think that's incredible. And I'm looking at a lot of those rebounds he had, and those offensive rebounds. Instead of being in arm battles and all tied up with people, he's getting 2 hands free above his shoulders, and he's if you got 2 hands free, it's hard to push, right? And so those are the conversations we've been having, and just kind of teaching him some little different techniques. But he's been awesome.
Obviously, the first 2 games went how you wanted them to go, but do you take the perspective that you'll know a lot more about this team after the next 2?
I mean, you're going to continue to learn about your team all year. Like I told you guys all along, I love who we got, and I know where we're going, but I really like who we're walking in with. And so I'm excited to see how it goes. We might have a tough night or 2, and that'll be okay, because these guys will learn from it. But all in all, I think we're trending in the right direction, and I think we're ready for the challenges that lay ahead.
You usually have 3, sometimes 4 kind of warm-up games at home, so to speak, or whatever, but this time 2, and you're going to Wisconsin. Did that change anything, or do you feel like that's
Not really. I just think, how scheduling kind of breaks sometimes, and it just, to me, it seems like there's a lot of, gaps this year in our schedule. which could be a good thing. It could allow us to rest a little bit, practice, continue to build. Sometimes when you play those 3 games in 3 days and you're really only allowed 11 non-conference games pretty much, right? So if you play 3 of them in 3 days over basically a 2-month period, I mean, there's some gaps in there. So just kind of how it worked out, and I'm good where we're at.
But and on the flip side, you get more practice time. Do you feel like, does that change, especially heading into Wisconsin, that you've had a lot of open days between?
Well, I mean, but what it allows you to do is kind of go back and clean things up. It allows you to revisit maybe things you installed, earlier in the fall. And, then it gives you time to still game plan for your opponent. So, it gives you time to get better. And, you kind of look at, hey, I mean, obviously we have a couple really big single games coming up. You got Wisconsin, you got Duke. Both are going to be incredibly challenging. But, what I got to have my eyes on too is, you have 3 games in 3 days that are going to be really hard in the Bahamas. So, you have all this practice time. You got to make sure you're preparing your team to play, probably 3 games, maybe against 3 very different styles of play in 3 consecutive days. So, the next 2 weeks are critical.